Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we're reacting to Ped Talks. The link is in the description if you want to see it. Ped Talks Football. This is a request from Susan who says the German national team football team is one of the most successful football teams in the world, winning 4 FIFA World Cups and 3 UEFA European Championships. The team is famous for discipline, teamwork, and legendary players such as Franz Beckenbauer, Thomas Müller, and the best goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, and Oliver Kahn. Germany represents the country in international football and is managed by the German Football Association. Let's go. Let's check this video out. This is the German national team. Okay, the 2026 squad of Germany is not normal. Let's go.
Germany are one of the best teams that we have seen on the world stage.
Aimed in for Götze! Mario Götze for Germany! Did it touch it to a cross without fire?
Whoa, that's a great free kick.
Midway inside the Argentine half of the field, ignored by Schweinsteiger. It's a great ball in, it's 1-0! Lovely little reverse ball.
Germany is great with headers, I'll tell you that. Everyone is like so tall.
From lifting multiple trophies with Franz Beckenbauer to winning the 2014 World Cup, Germany are a powerhouse when it comes to international football. But in recent tournaments, they haven't looked like the Germany that we once knew.
As you say, it's a huge task ahead, especially considering what we've seen in recent major tournaments for Germany.
It's the World Cup curse. Germany won the World Cup, then they went group stage on the next one, group stage on the next one. Italy won the World Cup. It has been out of the World Cup for 3 consecutive World Cups. Insane. It's the World Cup curse. Probably Argentina is not going to do well in this World Cup. I don't think there is a World Cup curse because, you know, France won the World Cup and it was runner-up last time. So yeah, but still, it happened to Italy and it happened to Germany. So who knows? Maybe there is a curse.
Group stage exits at the last 2 World Cup, last 16 elimination at the last Euros, and then on top of that, there's a feeling with many of the German fans that they've fallen out of love with the national team. So where do you even start to getting things back to where they once were, or at least getting closer to where they once were with Germany?
And I hope, and I hope for my German team that they wake up. The quality is there,
maybe
but
it's
they have
this
to
year.
prove a point now. If they do that, then I think Germany, with the crowd, behind.
I'll tell you one thing: if Germany wins this World Cup, they will tie with Brazil. And it would be the very first time in many years that somebody tied with Brazil.
Their fans behind, they can maybe do something very, very special.
Now they have a new crop of young, talented players looking to make Die Mannschaft world champions once again. Players like Florian Wirtz.
He finds the top left-hand corner
Crazy.
with a belter. The Bayern all-fear star playmaker with Germany's fastest ever goal.
Jamal Musiala.
Little bit of good fortune with the finish, but the move itself.
The German team looks very young
Leonard
this
Carr.
time around.
Bayern Munich youngster making his under-21 debut, getting his name on the score sheet.
We can't forget Kimmich and Pavlovic. Heck, even the likes of Havertz and Voltemada can pull out moments of magic here and there. Don't be fooled by their tall and
the
skinny
giant
frame.
Messi.
All of these talented players are also managed by an equally talented manager in Julian Nagelsmann.
There are different
They all
Germany
look so
sides to the
young.
ones we maybe grew up with, but they are hoping that they're going through something of a resurgence, Nadem, under Nagelsmann.
Reports say that Nagelsmann has created a system that is going to be unstoppable at the World Cup.
That's insane.
Watching my own team playing offensive, aggressive soccer, and I know we can do that, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy to be there.
So many great teams
When you
this
lose the
time
ball,
around.
when you win the ball, and so it's most times it's important that every player has the possibility to see each scene.
This German side looks completely different than the side that lifted the World Cup in 2014. The leaders of that golden generation like Toni Kroos, Thomas Müller, and Manuel Neuer have now stepped away from international football, leaving behind huge gaps in leadership, experience, and quality.
Well, I think they have quality-wise, they have a good side, a side that can go far in this World Cup. The question is, how how will the chemistry work? Who are the leaders of this team?
But Nagelsmann is not trying to replace those legends with similar players. He's trying to completely rebuild how Germany plays football.
Make new
His main
legends.
idea is based on speed and directness. Germany desperately want to get back to the top because historically, that's where they've always been. For years, Germany was the team everybody expected to at least reach the semifinals. Yes, they weren't always the flashiest of teams, but they were super organized, mentally strong, and incredibly hard to beat. Pretty much the opposite of Slot's Liverpool.
Wow.
They became known for their ruthless efficiency and winning mentality. Germany won their first ever World Cup in 1954. After being banned from the 1950 tournament after World War II, West Germany returned in 1954 in Switzerland. Nobody expected them to win. Hungary was the best team in the world at that time, and they had
Hungary was the best team in the world. Recently, I just saw that Hungary is in the top 10 of most goals scored in history. In fact, I also saw Sweden is number 14, which was a surprise to me. You know, Sweden holds number 14 of the most goals scored in the World Cup, above Portugal, below Mexico.
54 in Switzerland. Nobody expected them to win. Hungary was the best team in the world at that time, and they had already beaten Germany 8-3 in the group stage. In the final,
8-3.
it was raining cats and dogs. Conditions that the Germans called Fritz Walter weather because their captain absolutely loved the mud. What a weird thing to be known for, by the way. Hungary went up 2-0 early, but the Germans fought back to win 3-2 with a late goal by Helmut Rahn.
That's
Many
crazy.
people think that the 19
Imagine losing in group stage 8-3 and then being down by 2 goals and then just scoring 3 and winning the World Cup. Crazy. Hungary, yeah. I haven't seen Hungary, like, they haven't done much.
1972 European
The
Championship
curse of
team
Holland.
is the best side Germany have ever had. Led by Beckenbauer and the goal machine Gerd Müller, they destroyed the Soviet Union 3-0 in the final. They played a beautiful flowing style that was way ahead of its time. Like, think about the way Real Madrid play and then do the opposite. In 1974, they won the World Cup as hosts after defeating an incredibly talented Dutch team led by Johan Cruyff. Even though the
Dude, the Dutch, man, they're always so close. They always get second, third, fourth place, but they never win.
as hosts after defeating an incredibly talented Dutch team led by Johan Cruyff. Even though the Dutch were the favorites, the Germans were just much more clinical. I mean, that's the German efficiency stereotype they talk about. Müller scored the winner, and Germany became the first team to hold the Euro and World Cup titles at the same time. Germany reached another World Cup final in 1986, but standing in front of them was prime Diego Maradona. Germany fought back from 2-0 down to make it 2-2, but Argentina scored late to win it 3-2. It was Germany's second straight World Cup final defeat. The 1990 World Cup felt much bigger than football.
Wow.
The Berlin Wall had recently fallen, and Germany were going through massive change as a country. Led by Lothar Matthäus and coached by Franz Beckenbauer, Germany beat Argentina 1-0 in the final with a late penalty. It became the perfect ending to the West Germany era before reunification. After their failure in Euro 2000, the DFB completely revolutionized their youth development program going into the 2002 World Cup. They called it Das Reboot. Honestly, I had to search this up. I thought it was German for restarting your computer. The Germans made it mandatory for every pro club to have a top-tier academy focusing on skills instead of just being big and strong. I guess some of the Premier League teams didn't get this memo.
Dude, I'm watching the stream while you try not to laugh, but that's disrespectful.
Even though the
My mom's
reboot
kind of
had just
homeless.
started, Germany ended up making it to the World Cup final in 2002. It was mostly thanks to goalkeeper Oliver Kahn, an absolute legend, who was unbeatable.
I don't want to talk about this because, you know, this was very... It seems that Oliver Kahn insulted like one of the Brazil players or Ronaldo or something, and then they came back. And Brazil and Germany have always had this kind of football rivalry. 2014 was, you know, Germany's payback for 2002. And Oliver Kahn, man, he was definitely very, very angry and aggressive. But 2002 was crazy.
2002. It was mostly thanks to goalkeeper Oliver Kahn, an absolute legend, who was unbeatable until the final, where they lost 2-0 to a legendary Brazil team featuring Ronaldo. No, not the Portuguese Botox guy, this Brazilian beast. Then in 2006,
Botox.
Germany were the hosts again. The home soil, the beers, the German baddies, the passion. It was time for Germany to outshine the world, and so they did. Prior to the tournament, there wasn't that much hope for the Germans. The lack of quality players in the squad were questioned, as well as Klinsmann's decision to live in America rather than Germany. But with Michael Ballack as the captain, along with Lucas Podolski and Klose, combined with Germany's history with having the home advantage, the Germans began to silence the doubters. The Germans finished third. They lost in a heartbreaking way to the Italians in the semifinals, but then they beat Portugal in the third place game. Miroslav Klose was awarded the Golden Boot. Podolski won the Best Young Player award, and 4 of Germany's players, Jens Lehmann, Philipp Lahm, Ballack, and Klose, were selected in the tournament's all-star team. The whole country fell in love with the team again. They played attacking, exciting football. It was proof that Das Reboot was working. But the optimism didn't actually last too long. Between 2006 and 2000.
Klose is a beast, yeah. Germany has so many legends, legendary players.
2012, the Germans won nothing. In Euro 2008, they got all the way to the final, but were defeated by Spain. Then in the 2010 World Cup, they had a new generation of talented players like Mesut Ozil, Toni Kroos, and Muller. But they could only make it to the semifinals, where once again, they were defeated by Spain. Then in the 2012 Euros, Germany started out on fire, being the only team to win all 3 of their group matches. But they fell short in the semifinals again, this time against the lasagna lovers Italy. It honestly seemed like the Germans were cursed, because despite their talent and their dominant playstyle, they just couldn't get their hands on the trophy. The 2014 World Cup was the moment everything finally came together.
We can skip this. We don't talk about the 2014 World Cup. We don't talk about that.
For Germany. After years of rebuilding through the Das Reboot project, the German Football Federation finally saw the results on the biggest stage possible. By 2014, the new generation had fully arrived. What made this team special was the balance. They still had the toughness and mentality that the Germans have always been known for, but now they had so much technical quality that they could compete with anyone. They were no longer just great on home soil. They now had a system that allowed them to dominate wherever they went. And then came the semi-final against Brazil. That 7-1 win is still one of the most shocking results in football history. Germany completely destroyed Brazil in their own country. Honestly, it felt like the Germans were getting rid of all of their anger, rage, and frustration from losing in the semi-finals so often in previous tournaments. The passing, movement, finishing, and ruthlessness were unbelievable. They literally bent Brazil over and kept spanking them like a disobedient child. But the job wasn't finished.
The job's not finished.
In the final against Argentina, Germany were pushed all the way to extra time. Then in the 113th minute, Mario Götze scored one of the most iconic goals in football history to win the World Cup 1-0.
Mario Götze for Germany!
It's crazy.
112 minutes! They find a way!
You know, that is like every Brazilian football fan's worst trauma, the 7-1. Like literally, it is used in every different context. Like when there's a tragedy, we say this is a 7-1 tragedy. What? Oh my! You know, it's just tragic.
After years of rebuilding, disappointment, falling just short, Germany were world champions. The 4th star was theirs, and the long project the Federation started over a decade earlier had officially become a masterpiece.
The downfall.
After winning the World Cup in 2014, it honestly felt like the Germans were gonna dominate international football for the next few years. They had world-class...
Listen, you guys had 7-1. You guys had your fun. But then the downfall came, you know, so sorry, I'm not sorry for saying this, but Brazil kept going. Brazil never missed a World Cup, you know. They kept going. They got their 7-1, but they kept going. Germany, always group stage. I'm just kidding, guys. Just very healthy banter here, okay? Don't need to be angry in the comments.
Germans were going to
Bring your
dominate
best
international
this year.
football for the next few years. They had world-class players everywhere, an elite system, and one of the best managers in football in Joachim Löw. But instead of building on that success, Germany slowly started losing its identity. At Euro 2016,
used to
they
pick
still
his
looked like a
nose
strong team and actually reached
and
the
eat it.
semifinals before losing to France. On paper, that seemed respectable. I mean, those are not the worst results in the world. You can't expect to win every single tournament. But the warning signs were there. Germany became too obsessed with possession football. They controlled games, but often moved the ball around without any purpose or intensity. That ruthless edge that made the old German team so feared slowly started disappearing. Then came the disaster at the 2018 World Cup in Putin's country. As defending champions, Germany entered the tournament expecting another deep run. Instead, they completely collapsed. Losses to Mexico and South Korea sent them crashing out in the group stage.
Do they have...
I'll tell you one thing. South Korea was very, very happy. They were doing great in this World Cup.
better players in these teams? Probably yes, but they were just so unconvincing in the group stage.
The team still dominated possession, but they looked slow, predictable, and completely out of rhythm when they tried to attack. I mean, they basically looked like Chelsea. It was one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. Things didn't improve much afterward. At the 2020 Euros, which was played in 2021 because of COVID, Germany struggled again and were knocked out by England in the round of 16. It ended up being the final tournament for Löw, and the era closed with disappointment instead of glory. Then came
Didn't England win that Euro?
another nightmare at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Under Hansi Flick, many fans expected Germany to bounce back. I mean, the guy had just won a sextuple with Bayern. Instead, the exact same problems returned. Germany lost to Japan and once again failed to escape the group stage.
Japan was happy too.
A disaster, and those were just the words of the German TV commentator as Germany crashed out of the group stages of the World Cup for the second tournament running.
2 straight World Cup exits that early was not something that people would have imagined a decade before. The fans were frustrated.
Worse than that, Italy not being in the World Cup 3 times in a row. Let's see if Germany can get through the group stage this time around. They have a good team, and 3 of the best go through this time. Not of all groups, but you know, 3rd place also goes. It's 32 now, round of 32.
They had no confidence in the team, and Germany looked like a giant that had completely lost its way. But then came the 2024 Euros, and for the first time in a long time, there was actual hope around the national team. With Julian Nagelsmann now in charge, Germany suddenly looked alive again. The football was quicker, more aggressive, and far more exciting to watch. The young stars started taking responsibility, the atmosphere around the squad improved, and the fans finally felt connected to the team again.
Schöner Sommer werden und auf jeden Fall könnten sie gut ins Turnier reinstarten und auch, sage ich ehrlich, haben sie auch die Chance, es zu gewinnen.
Sie müssen auch kämpfen und müssen halt eine Mannschaft sein. Das ist, glaube ich, das Wichtigste heutzutage, dass alle zusammenspielen und zusammenhalten und halt eine richtige Mannschaft sind.
Germany reached the quarterfinals and lost a heartbreaking match to Spain. I mean, you can easily make the argument that these guys were absolutely robbed by that Cucurella handball not being called. Regardless, for the first time since 2014, it genuinely felt like Germany had found a direction again, and that
But I have seen a pattern here. Spain is probably Germany's worst enemy, because Spain has knocked them out so many times.
Optimism has been carried over to yet another international tournament. We are now seeing the rise of a new generation of talented players for Germany. In goal, they have a new face, Oliver Baumann. For almost 15 years, the goalkeeper position belonged to the GOAT, Manuel Neuer. Now that he's retired from international football, Germany had a massive decision to make about who replaces him. Baumann from Hoffenheim has stepped into that role. What makes this super interesting, based on my research, is he's getting this opportunity now when it's arguably not even been one of his best seasons. But at the same time, he's earned a lot of respect over the years through his consistency and experience. That said, not everybody agrees with the decision. From some of the German fans that I talked to, many of them believe that there are other goalkeepers on the same level who also deserve an opportunity. Keep in mind that Nagelsmann has said that if Ter Stegen can recover by the World Cup, he will play. Now in defense, the partnership of Jonathan Tah and Nico Schlotterbeck has become one of the biggest strengths of this German team. Both defenders have been excellent at club level, with Tah playing a huge role for Bayern and Schlotterbeck continuing to impress for Borussia Borussia Dortmund. What makes this pairing so good is how complete they both are. Both are tall, physical, and aggressive defenders, but they're also very comfortable on the ball. They can play out from the back, break lines with their passes, and handle the high defensive line that Julian Nagelsmann wants to use, because they both have the speed to recover in transition, which is extremely important in modern football. Meanwhile, Antonio Rudiger still brings experience, leadership, and intensity to the squad. Intensity is putting it lightly. The guy is crazy. He's more of a rotational option.
Dude is a tank, man. Dude is insane.
Now more depth to the center back position, which isn't surprising given how poor he has played for Real Madrid. But hey, despite this guy being an absolute psycho, on his day he is still a good center back, and it doesn't hurt to have him available during a long World Cup. Then you have Joshua Kimmich. Now Nagelsmann might play this guy as a right back or in the heart of midfield. I personally like him better in the middle of the park, especially after watching Bayern and seeing how much he was cooking under Vincent Kompany. But Nagelsmann is significantly more intelligent than me when it comes to football, so he probably has a plan on how to get the best out of Kimmich. At left back, you have David Raum. Wing backs are one area where this team doesn't have a ton of options. In the midfield, Alexander Pavlovic looks like the guy everyone is excited about. The young Bayern midfielder plays with so much calmness and maturity for his age. His passing, vision, and defensive work rate already make him look like a future leader of this team. Hopefully, Kimmich plays next to him because the two of them have been fantastic for Bayern. If Germany want a more physical and hardworking midfielder to balance things out, they can always use Goretzka. I can't believe how much more muscular this guy got. He used to be such a skinny twig at Schalke, and now, I mean, he just looks like he's going to a bodybuilding show. Another player Julian Nagelsmann is watching closely is Angelo Stiller. I swear every 3 months I see a report come out saying that Real Madrid are interested in this guy because they desperately need a deep line playmaker. He's been one of the key reasons behind Stuttgart's rise. He rarely loses the ball, always keeps possession moving, and he fits perfectly into this Germany system where quick passing and control are so important. The most exciting part of this German team, though, for sure, is the partnership between Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz. German fans even gave them a nickname, Musiala, because of how dangerous they are together. Both are still incredibly young, but they already play like superstars. Wirtz is the creative brain of the team. After dominating with Bayer Leverkusen, he made a big move to Liverpool in the summer of 2025. His time hasn't been as smooth as people expected, but to be honest, a lot of it isn't even really his fault. Arne Slot's system definitely didn't help him, and a lot of times Wirtz was creating chances that Liverpool simply failed to finish. Like literally every single Liverpool player has looked worse
for Germany.
In their second season under Slot. But whenever Wirtz returns to the German national team, he immediately looks like himself again.
All those things that the media and Liverpool fans are still sort of waiting for, he's been doing that for quite some time for Germany. So I just feel, to me, it looks like when he goes back with the national team, he just oozes more confidence.
His performances for Germany have stayed sharp, he shows his creativity, and he plays with full of confidence.
Man of the match, Florian Wirtz, definitely, because the way already he kind of played in the first half, you could see that he was enjoying himself. So he was the player, difference maker, was fun to watch him.
So that shows you his talent was never the problem. Musiala, meanwhile, is the magician. The Bayern star is still one of the best dribblers in world football. I mean, they call him Bambi because of the way he glides past defenders with those long, skinny legs. He hasn't quite looked the same since returning from injury. I saw it in flashes in the game against PSG in the Champions League. A prime Musiala probably would have scored a lot of those chances. But even then, he remains an incredibly dangerous player who can decide games with one run or just one touch. What makes this duo even better is that the two of them are friends even off the pitch. That chemistry carries over to the matches, where they're constantly combining, rotating positions, and being a nightmare for defenders. When both of them are fully confident and in rhythm, Germany suddenly look like one of the most dangerous attacking teams in the world. One of Germany's biggest problems in the last few years has been finding a proper striker. Back in the day, Miroslav Klose dunked on everybody, but nowadays it's hard to find an elite number 9. Right now, Kai
He's gonna talk about Voltemade, right?
Havertz is the main option up front. Now, he's not your classic traditional number 9, but his movement, intelligence, and link-up play have been excellent for both Arsenal and Germany. He drops deep, connects the attacks, and he creates space for the other players around him. He is not a world-class number 9 by any stretch of the imagination, but he has a lot of qualities that can help the team as a whole. Germany have other options too. Nick Voltemade has been developing really well and gives the team more size and technical quality. His start at Newcastle was actually great. He was scoring a lot of goals and dominating the
dangerous.
Premier League. Then Eddie Howe, for some reason, started playing this guy as like a number 8. He started playing him deeper in the midfield when he was cooking up front. So then his goal stats dried up like my balls when I watched Real Madrid play. Hopefully Nagelsmann uses him where he's supposed to actually play, because the guy is a very good player. You also have Dennis Undav, who's put up some fantastic numbers for Stuttgart. Out wide, Sane still brings speed, directness, and dribbling. When I've spoken to German fans, many of them don't like this guy. They say that his decision making is poor and that he has really bad body language, but honestly, I still think he can do some damage, at least coming off the bench. One player that could really surprise a lot of people at the 2026 World Cup is Leonard Carl. He's only a teenager, but he plays for Bayern and has already started getting attention globally. He's a left-footed attacker.
Like, all of them that they showed look very, very young, man.
Who loves taking players on and scoring and creating in the final third. Nagelsmann clearly rates him highly, and this kid could end up becoming Germany's secret weapon, even if it's off the bench.
And that excites a lot of people in Germany with the hope that he takes him with to the World Cup, to the United States this summer. A wonderful young player there to follow.
When you combine this level of talent.
Did you guys notice he has a book of Brazil behind him? The Secret? No, See It. What is that? Is he studying Brazil?
Wonderful young player there to follow.
When you combine this level of talent with Nagelsmann's tactical knowledge, you really do have the recipe for success.
There were issues obviously in the recent past, but they have to leave that behind, and they have to demonstrate again to their nation that they are united, that they are ready for a big challenge.
Nagelsmann, who was the youngest ever Bundesliga coach, aged 28 when he took charge of Hoffenheim in 2016, and then steered Bayern to a Bundesliga title in 2021-2022, is an individual who thinks outside the box. He has built a tactical system that is super flexible and adaptable during matches. Germany usually line up in a 4-2-3-1, but when they have possession, the shape can quickly shift into something that looks more like a 3-4-3 or even a midfield diamond. The main goal is to keep players close together so the passing becomes faster and more dangerous. Nagelsmann wants his team to constantly combine in tight spaces with quick passes and movement, almost like a five-a-side team. This forces opponents to crowd the middle of the park, and once that happens, Germany attacks the open spaces out wide or behind the defensive line. The entire system is built around speed, movement, and creating chaos for the opposition. Now, for this team to play well, they're gonna need Kimmich at his best. To see just how underrated this guy is, and how Pep warned us how good he could become years ago, you have to watch this video right here. Germany are one of...
Hey, after all this research and everything he mentioned, Germany looks strong. The only thing that I would say is I didn't see a lot of experience there. I feel like they are getting to a point that they are looking very dangerous. They have a lot of talent. They could benefit from like an experienced player, which I don't know which one would be the most experienced player here, but they do look very dangerous, especially when it comes to the attack, and the defense looks good. And what is it with Germany and goalkeepers? You guys have awesome goalkeepers, man. I know that Neuer is going, but he's going to be a reserve, right? But the new goalkeeper looked very sharp. I think it's the height. It's the height, isn't it? Germans are naturally tall, I guess. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think Germany will do during this World Cup? Do you think they will get far? Do you think they'll flop once again? What do you guys think? They look sharp. They look good. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, the odds were like they were 7th favorite to win, if I remember correctly. But they look really sharp. And also, they played against Finland today. Let's look at the highlights later and check that out, because I didn't watch the match. I watched Brazil play, and they are looking sharp too. You know, most of the teams this year looks very sharp. It's going to be very interesting. Good luck to Germany. Hope you guys do well. And if you do go against Brazil, I'm telling you, I want Brazil to score 7-1 against Germany. I'm just saying. Let the best team win. See you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.